As you might be well aware, unrests and chaos in our schools is not a rare occurrence. These are things that happen for one reason or another. In Litein Secondary School, we've had to experience about 3 occasions where students have gone on riot or there has been chaos in that school, resulting to the loss of property, but we thank God that there has not been any loss of life. Following the loss of property and destruction of property in that school, there has been a number of measures that have been put in place by the school management in a way to ensure the smooth running or the running of the school back to its usual form. However, our clients, the parents of these students, find certain measures that have been taken or suggested by the school to be very uncomfortable. Firstly, there is a question about the compensation that ought to be paid under the circumstances. As my senior has mentioned, there was a demand that about 99 million shillings be paid to compensate for the loss of property that was experienced in that school. When you want to enumerate or you want to make a calculation of how the 99 million shillings has been arrived at, about 30 million shillings is compensation meant to be given to teachers to go and celebrate that, there was a riot in school and they have been given about 30 million shillings to go and enjoy themselves. This is something that the school, the parents of this school have found to be very uncomfortable. And for that reason, they have suggested amendments to the proposal that has been given by the school management. This has led to the scaling down of this amount from about 99 million to about 69 million. So be that as it may, even while the amount seems to have reduced significantly, there is wisdom in these amounts of money also reducing further to an amount that can be accommodated by the teachers or by the parents who have taken their students to that school. So this is to mean that the 69 million shillings that has been demanded by this school, number one, has not been arrived at through a transparent process that the parents can understand where this money has originated from. Secondly, on the return to school formula, the demand that students, Form 4 students, because they are feared that probably they might want to involve themselves in exam irregularities, that they should come later on and first of all give room and opportunity to Form 2s and Form 3s is quite unfair and illogical. It's illogical because Form 4s are expected to be preparing for their Form 4s exam. And it will be expected ordinarily that they will be given the first opportunity of returning back to school to give them room and opportunity of preparing for their final exam. So this is something that the parents find to be very uncomfortable. And we will be moving to court so that we can put the school management to the straight and narrow, a path that they will be reminded that they are not the law unto themselves, that these students also have a right to fair administrative action that requires them to be treated in a very logical manner, that any of the resolution that is being made or will be made by the school must sit within the 4 corners of the Constitution to afford the parents and the teachers fair administrative action. Lastly, there has been a requirement set by the school management that every student, upon resuming back to school, must be accompanied by all his parents, and these parents must mandatorily attend parents' meeting so that they can be forced into arriving at certain conclusions. Well, it is not tenable that all parents will be available for all meetings of the school. In any event, these parents must also be given an opportunity and time to go and look for resources so that they can support their children while they are in school. So to demand that all parents must at all times when they are called upon to return back to school and accompany their students is at the very least very illogical and unreasonable. We also have single parents. So where on earth would you expect that child of a single parent to get the father or the mother who is not available? So these are some of the things that we say beat logic, and we will be moving to the Judicial Review Division so that we can compel this school to act reasonably, to afford these students and their parents some reasonable administrative action even in an attempt to also mitigate on the losses that they have suffered. I think that should be all from me, unless we have any questions. What is right and wrong in this country is the courts of law. So when a body exercising its administrative powers gives certain orders or directives, particularly number one that requires that these parents must and should pay a compensation of about 49,000 shillings each. That is something that is available for scrutiny before the courts of law. The courts have the power of issuing judicial review orders in terms of even mandamus to compel the school to readmit the Form 4s quicker than the Form 2s and the Form 3s. The court also has the power to quash the directive by the school requiring parents to pay up to a tune of about 49,000 shillings from each parent. So I think I have sufficiently responded to your question.
Yeah, thank you.
For the High Court, basically giving interventions on the actions by the Board of Management, Litein High School in Bureti constituency, Kericho County. We are standing with the parents of the school, because we are parents too, that this is an illegality that is being orchestrated on them. Reason being that this is a criminal enterprise by the management to give parents an amount of 49,000 each to be paid into the school. And this is the reason why we are saying it's a criminal enterprise. Number one, all these students, once they were admitted to this Litein High School, they were admitted when they were of good character. Even when you go to the living certificates, it will show that they were hardworking boys who had excelled from their respective primary schools, and they are there propagating what they had learned from the primary school. Now, the big question is this: when did this character go south for them now to be branded that they are students who participate in unrest and who went on strike? Because this is a criminal enterprise, which we want to stand with the parents of that the school, for them not to be condemned to pay amounts that are unreasonable. We are not disputing that there was a strike. We are not disputing that there was destruction. But these good students who have good manners, when is it then that each and every of the parents is condemned to pay 49,000? This is an arbitrary sum. It is done by a QS who is aligned to the Board of Management, who is aligned to benefit unduly from the parents. And looking at the time that this is happening, this is third term where the students have to do their end of year exams, including Form 4s who are going to sit for their national examinations, and have this school having red flags in terms of the performance. So we shall be seeking for protection by the court through issues of the orders, but then we have to cushion Litein High School parents from being subjected to arbitrariness. And that is why we are standing with the school. In as much as they gave us instructions to proceed and file suit, we shall stand with them for purposes of seeing that justice is served, and that justice is going to be served from the chambers or from the emblem of the judiciary.